I hope people heed the warnings, but everybody should take this very seriously.
There's not much calm before this storm. Hurricane Irene churning up ocean waters and forcing people to higher ground.
No chances. We've seen what it can do. It's not a pretty sight. You got to respect the power of nature.
And you can see behind me, nobody walking the streets, and the shops are also boarded up.
We have team coverage of the monster storm that's threatening millions, including our own meteorologist Ed Russo, who's in the direct path of this massive hurricane. Your independent news network starts right now.
No chances. We've seen what it can do. And it's not a pretty sight. You got to respect the power of nature.
What we have to do is assume the worst, prepare for that, and hope for the best.
65 million people in the path of potential devastation. Some of our country's most populated cities are in danger tonight as Hurricane Irene inches closer to the East Coast. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. Hurricane Irene is taking aim on the North Carolina coast. It's expected to make landfall overnight and then hit New England sometime on Sunday. From Virginia to Maine, state of emergencies and evacuations have been ordered. We have team coverage tonight, beginning with meteorologist Pat Walker, who's busy tracking Irene. Pat?
Mike, there is a little bit of good news today on the hurricane front. While Irene is no longer a major hurricane, now a Category 2 storm with sustained winds around 105 miles per hour, it still is a very strong hurricane taking its aim on the outer banks of North Carolina. Again, sustained winds of 125, gusting sometimes to 125. But a big threat for Irene will be the heavy rainfall this will bring to places like North Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York, and New England. Here's 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when it'll be in the outer banks of North Carolina. And then throughout the day on Saturday, heading toward Virginia Beach, into Saturday night, making its way back out into the Atlantic just south of the Delmarva Peninsula, battering the Jersey Shore Saturday night to early on Sunday morning, and then Sunday morning around 9 o'clock could be right over New York City. And then throughout the day, as this Category 1 hurricane storm at that point will be heading into New England by Sunday evening and then eventually out into the North Atlantic south of Greenland, and obviously will be over at that point. So the wind will be a threat. It'll be less of a wind, however, a ton of rainfall with this storm. You see anywhere in the shade of yellow, that's 1 to 3 inches, red up to 6 inches. If you see any purple at all, that's 9 to 12. And the black, like in North Carolina, we're talking over a foot of rainfall. So in New York City, we're talking at least 6 inches of rainfall. In some locations, we'll be picking up to around 9. This is Jersey Shore, 9 inches to a foot. So a lot of rain from Irene. Mike?
All right, Pat, thanks. Mandatory evacuations are underway at this hour in some parts of North Carolina as Irene closer. Most folks there aren't taking any chances.
Our people are in process of evacuating from all over the coast. Our shelters are open. We've got Highway Patrol and Red Cross on the ground. We are ready for the storm. We hope that people are taking seriously the warnings. This is a big, bad storm, and we know she's headed for coastal North Carolina.
Now, as Pat said, after the storm hits North Carolina, New England is next, including New Jersey, which is now under a state of emergency.
The latest tracking tells us that this is going to become more serious than less. We've moved to an extreme rating from the National Weather Service in terms of the impact on New Jersey. And the current tracking is going to lead to, if it continues, a serious, significant event in the state.
Some very brave, or perhaps not so smart, surfers are taking advantage of giant waves in Long Beach Island in New Jersey. Our own meteorologist Ed Russo is vacationing with his family on the Jersey Shore, or at least he was until they were forced to evacuate. He's now back on the job, giving us reports as that storm gets closer.
I'm in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, a very popular summer resort town, and you can see behind me nobody walking the streets, and the shops are also boarded up in preparations for Hurricane Irene, which could be the strongest storm to affect the Jersey coast in a very long time.
We will check back in with Ed in just a little bit. Meanwhile, Long Island is also expecting the worst. Officials are getting ready and urging people to get ready in case Irene slams their shores.
So we have begun implementing our coastal storm plan. I am calling on residents of the Barrier Island, including Atlantic Beach, East Atlantic Beach, Lido Beach, Long Beach, and Point Lookout, to begin preparation for a possible evacuation of their communities.
Now on to the Big Apple itself. There are major concerns about what kind of damage a storm of this magnitude will cause. Mayor Michael Bloomberg advises New Yorkers to pack a bag in case of a last-minute evacuation, which could be called for some of the city's low-lying areas.
Some of the things you should have in your go bag are drinking water, a first aid kit, a flashlight, any important medications that you take, essential documents such as passports or other forms of ID, and an extra set of car and house keys.
Now, if there is an evacuation, about 700,000 people will be affected. Tomorrow, the city's subway system will close. Police in Narragansett, Rhode Island are warning drivers about Hurricane Irene. They put up this mobile warning sign telling them to start making emergency preparations now. Police say they will offer updated information on the storm through both the mobile signs and on the town's website. Time for Global News Now. The Bahamas is cleaning up today after Hurricane Irene roared through there yesterday as a Category 3 storm. This is video out of Nassau, which did not take a direct hit. Still, there was plenty of damage, although people there say it could have been much more. It's reported a couple of remote communities were leveled in that storm. A typhoon in the western Pacific near the Philippines has dramatically and unexpectedly strengthened today. This storm is now stronger than Hurricane Irene and is expected to skirt the northeast coast before tracking close to Taiwan. Japanese Prime Minister Nato Kan has resigned, bowing to pressure over his response to the earthquake and tsunami which hit the country in March. He had promised to step down after Parliament approved measures he believed would push forward his post-tsunami reconstruction policies. The ruling Democratic Party is expected to elect a new leader next week. Officials in Mexico are blaming a grenade attack for this fire at a casino in Monterrey. At least 53 people were killed, 8 others hurt. Police say 2 people arrived at the Casino Royale last night and threw 3 grenades into the building. Firefighters scrambled to put out the fire and rescue those trapped inside. That's your Global News Now. The manhunt for Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi continues. Some believe he may have used secret underground tunnels as an escape route out of Tripoli. Now, there have been rumors about those tunnels for years. Here's video inside that underground maze. Troops loyal to Gaddafi continue to battle rebel forces. They're launching mortars and rockets at the Tripoli International Airport, which the rebels say they control. Well, there's still plenty more to come on INN, including how Hurricane Irene may affect your wallet.
Get that body going.
Well, if Richard Simmons doesn't motivate you to get moving, maybe some cold hard cash will. We'll tell you about one state paying people to drop the pounds. And the man in this video is carrying a little extra weight, something scaly that he's hiding in a very precarious place. These stories and much more still ahead on INN.
There are lots of back-to-school sales still going on. I'm Erica Rodriguez. Coming up, I'll show you what else is on sale that you might not find in an ad.